to approve the minutes of the last meeting.
So moved.
Is there a second?
I second.
Okay. All those in favor of approving the minutes, say aye.
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 Okay, all right, the minutes are approved. And who is going to give us the noise report then?
Kyle.
I
Okay,
will give the complaint report. There was just 2 complaints. There was the noise complaint. I received an email. This has been going on, I guess, for longer.
yeah.
But I received an email about noise in the North County, North Florissant area about a low frequency hum noise.
Hmm.
I received a complaint about it on February 7th. And the complainant said that he was hearing a loud vibration noise. He said it's been going on and off for months. And then it was bad on Monday morning. But then we received further complaints, reports of complaints, not directly complaints to us, but I guess there was complaints to like the county council, and even one of the county council members, Shalonda Webb, I believe, was also complaining about the noise because she lives up that way and could hear it.
Hmm.
But one of the people, there was a news story about it, and one of the complainants from the news story said that it was a almost inaudible low frequency hum that they were hearing in the evenings. Now the complaint that I directly received said that he heard it in the morning, but we don't know what it is. That they seem to think it's either coming from the Spire facility up there or possibly from the Ameren facility in St. Charles County, north of there. But I went out and did a routine compliance inspection at the Spire facility, and also asked them about the noise. I know they had a solar turbine there that I suspected could possibly have been the culprit, but they don't have that turbine anymore, and I didn't hear any noise. And the person who directly complained to me, I did go out to that neighborhood on 2 different days in the morning, and I didn't hear any noise. So I have not actually heard the noise myself, but obviously a lot of people are complaining about it. It's obviously happening. But from the way it's been described, it doesn't even sound like, even if I could hear the noise, it doesn't sound like it would end up being a violation of the ordinance. But I've not yet been able to get to the bottom of where the source is from.
Well, if it's disturbing that many people, I can't imagine that we couldn't do something. I mean, it's got to be a problem somewhere. Even if it's low frequency, it's disturbing. You know?
Yeah, the only thing I could think of is, I don't really know what it means, but in the noise ordinance there's a provision for a discrete tone. I don't really know exactly what discrete tone is. I don't think it defines discrete tone in the ordinance. But
Hmm.
I don't know. I mean, I guess.
Well, I mean, is there some sort of local, whether it's fire department or whatever, who can figure out even where the noise is coming from? That would be helpful.
Yeah, from what I've heard, they have complained to the fire department, and they've not been able to find the source either. Discrete tone, it's defined as a noise measured on a 1/3 octave band analyzer, which is 10 decibels greater than each of the adjacent 1/3 octave bands. So it sounds like an octave band analyzer is maybe some other different kind of device that we don't even have. I'd have to look into that.
Kind of creepy, really.
I don't know if I can go to St. Charles County to the Ameren facility to investigate the noise. I mean, I guess I can. It's not that far away.
Well, what we need to do is call them,
Mhm.
talk to our contacts over at Ameren, and see if they think there'd be any possibility that they could be generating a noise. Most likely they will say no.
Yeah, and I believe somebody has contacted them. I think it was the news channel, Channel 2
Yeah.
News or something, and they said that it wasn't them.
Okay.
So this is, I think that it could possibly be just, I know one of the complaints, Spire told me that they received a complaint about the noise to them directly on February 2nd and 3rd. And I looked up the weather for that day and there was sustained high gusty winds.
Hmm.
And it may have something to do with whenever the winds are high, sustained at high levels for a long period of time. And the fact that there's a lot of karst topography there, caves and sinkholes. Maybe it has something to do with wind blowing over and through some of those features causing that hum. I'm not sure, but that's one thing that we're dealing with right now. We have not
Oh,
yet resolved
yeah.
it.
Kyle, before you go on, I forgot to ask if there are any outside people on the call. Okay. And I was pressing on the wrong participant, so I did find everybody. Okay, go ahead.
And the only other complaint that we had was a burning complaint. And the complainant said that she occasionally drives by in the evening between 5 to 8 p.m. and sees smoke and fire at 501 East Arley Avenue. And she said it appears to be trash and debris being burnt, and that she had been in contact with the police and fire department.
What
And
area?
that is, it's a like it looks like a warehouse type facility in South County, right by the river. 501 East Arley Avenue. Looks like there's a lot of barges and things like that in this area, but it's just looks like some kind of compound with a bunch of vehicles and equipment, and supposedly they're burning stuff there. Now this one, after I received this complaint, I put it in, and then I actually let this one fall through the cracks. I haven't investigated it yet, and I haven't taken any action on it, but I will.
Actually, Kyle, this complaint, and I learned this after the fact, was investigated by Aaron Cadman
Okay.
a while back, and it was verified that they are doing burning. And we did issue them a notice of violation. And we had got no response. And we sent it to the county counsel's office. And so it's sitting in the
Okay.
county counsel's office.
Now that you
And it
say
was
that, I
just-
do.
Yeah.
Now that you say that, I do remember some emails about that. I just looked at it today and I saw I put a complaint in and then nothing else. And I was like, oh, it looks like I forgot to do anything on this one. I just let this one fall through the cracks, but now I feel a little bit better
Yeah,
about that.
you didn't.
The-
It's been an ongoing one.
So
Yeah,
has it been a
that's-
while since the county council got it?
No, it's only
Have
been a
they-
week,
That's, okay, great,
probably maybe 2 weeks.
got it.
I did it
Is this a
recently.
business?
Yes.
Okay.
And Jeremy prepared the referral, but it took me about 2 weeks to get to it. So I apologize for that, but it is what it is.
And there are some additional complaints that I wasn't sure if we should be adding these into these reports, but we did receive 2 more email complaints about the AZZ noise from the group that has been sending us complaints every month. I don't know if I should be adding those to the
Yeah,
database.
I was gonna talk about them when I talked about the update.
Okay.
Yeah, but,
Crazy
yeah,
indeed.
but we should hear one way or the other, we should hear if they continue to send.
Yes,
complaints.
we should be reporting those and they should be going in our database.
Okay, and additionally, we do also occasionally receive emails about the odor complaints from the I-270 intersection. I guess I don't know if it's a DNR website or something, but there's a place where they've been complaining on filling out a form on, I guess, DNR's website, and those complaints get forwarded to us. And I have not been doing anything with those other than I have not been like reporting those to the
No,
board.
we do not record those. If we ever need that information, we can get it from the state. Normally, how we handle those is we look at them. If it's in a timely manner, like it's 9 o'clock in the morning and there's 3 or 4 people that have complained, if available, we'll send an inspector out, somebody to investigate. But normally those complaints come in after the fact. So what Jeremy and I used to do is we look at them and we make a determination if we can respond to it or not. If we can respond to it, we will. If there's numerous complaints, then we'll contact the facility and find out what, if anything happened, or, you know, if there was an upset condition. It's hard to tell based on the emails if it's the landfill or if it's the asphalt plant or if it's a, there's a couple MSD lift stations out there that occasionally smell. But, you know, we do review them. If we can respond to them, we do. If we can't, you know, we just monitor them basically.
You know, there have been, it's been a while, but there were other odor complaints that you used to say that you thought were more the landfill. Are those complaints still coming in? Not the same, not the Westlake, but there was another, you know, was it the
Camp landfill.
Camp landfill, yeah.
This is what we're talking about. We haven't gotten any that I'm aware of, any direct complaints about the Champ landfill to us.
No.
But what we're getting is like once or twice a week, somebody will go to the MDNR website and put in a complaint through their website. And if we see that, that's what I'm talking about. We will review those and then make a determination if we can investigate or not. And that's usually based on the time, if it's a real-time complaint, which most of them aren't. Like we'll get a complaint, like we got a complaint today and I think it happened Saturday. So I mean, we can't go out and investigate that obviously, but it just keeps our awareness.
Mhm.
And then like if we got a complaint, like say one came in now and said that right now it was smelling. If we have somebody available, we'll send somebody out. The state still does their loop. The state goes out about once a month now, maybe once every 2 weeks, and do what we refer to as an odor loop, which they used to do like every other day. And we used to participate. We would once or twice a week send an inspector. You know, there's different points around both the Bridgeton and the Champ landfill that they drive around and monitor to see if there are any odors. But the odors there are so fleeting that it's really, you know, it's really hard to catch the odor at the right time.
And my issue with the odor from the landfill is that I've been there whenever it's had a horrendous smell before, but I still cannot smell anything through that nasal ranger.
Oh,
I
really?
don't know if it's just me or maybe I have an issue with my nose. I do have a deviated septum. I have problems with one of my nostrils, but maybe that's the issue. But I personally cannot smell anything.
Yeah,
Through that
you're
nasal
not
ranger.
alone. Because the state, when they do their monitoring, even when I know they'll put that there is an odor, and then they'll put down they didn't detect it through the nasal ranger, or they'll have a less than 2 through the nasal ranger. I mean, for the odor to really be smelled through the nasal ranger, it has to be a very, very strong odor. And the only time that I have ever smelled it really through the nasal ranger is when they used to take in the sludge when the fill port was up. This was about 2 or 3, it was probably longer than that, about 4 years ago, they take sludge in from MSD and they have to bury it right away. And when the open face was above ground at one point, when they took that in, it was bad. And now that they've moved back down below ground, you don't, when they bring that sludge in, you don't get the odors or as strong as an odor when they bring that in, because it has to raise above the ground, if that makes sense to you.
I guess the question I would have is the state doing anything about this? I mean, this has been going on for years.
Well, the landfill continually are taking corrective actions. And the bottom line is a landfill smells, you know, and the state odor reg is 7-to-1. So you have to be able to smell that odor at 1 part odor, 7 parts clean air. That is a very, very strong odor. Now, if you remember, we have our new odor ordinance that we've drafted. It has been with our legal department since January 19th, 2019, or 2020, I think. And I keep hounding them that we need to get that, because we had the public hearing, we worked out with MSD and several other people to get that odor ordinance, but we have not been able to get it through legal yet. And
well, what's
the
the
person
hang-up?
working on it keeps promising me. I contact her once a week and she says, Kath, I'll have it to you tomorrow.
Oh, brother.
And I have yet to receive it.
Have you raised the issue with the head of the department?
We have raised the issue with the head of the department.
I mean, that's ridiculous. You know, we approved it. We had the hearing, we approved it. It's got to go to the county council, excuse me. And that's, I mean, without any excuse, they need to say why they're sitting on it.
Yeah, I'll reach out to her again today. I mean, I think Monday was the last time I gave her an email. I actually think like the 17th of February, I actually had a face-to-face with her and she said, I'll get it to you tomorrow. And
well, I mean, I think, you know, you can maybe subtly say that if you can't report to us at the next meeting that there's been movement on this, that we will,
Okay.
as a board,
I will tell her that.
raise the issue, because, you know, that's just that, then it looks like we're not doing our job.
Yeah, I mean, Jeremy, they've had back and forth. Jeremy corrected everything that legal said they needed correcting. So it's just really on the last step. And I have no idea why she is holding it up. Now, she talked about changing the whole rule, why we had it open. And I told her that would be fine. This was just at the last meeting. I said, that's fine. You know, we need to correct things that need to be corrected, but not if it's going to hold this ordinance up. And she said, oh, no, it's not going to hold it up. I've got everything ready to go. I'll send it to you tomorrow. And again, it's 2 weeks later and I don't have any.
Right. Okay. Well, you could maybe just say, maybe use this meeting as a prompt. Say,
Okay, I will do that.
Forward,
Most
and
definitely.
they asked about it and they're very concerned that this is not moving forward.
Yep, I will definitely do that. I mean, and we have had our director talk to her director, and
Yeah, that's just not,
legal is just a big black hole.
yeah, well, it shouldn't be.
No, it shouldn't be. It's
No,
what
and
we depend on.
we realize that things got delayed with the things, people working remotely, but at this point,
Yeah.
2 years is too long. 3 years, almost, you know.
Yeah, it's almost 3 years now. It's 2 years.
Yeah.
So,
That's the change that reduced the threshold from 7-to-1 to 4-to-1. Is that right?
right.
That
That's
would
it
help.
for the complaints. It was really just the ongoing North County noise complaint and the open burning at East Arley.
Great. Okay, so you're going to give us an update on the AZZ?
Yeah.
Sabrina?
Okay, so we haven't heard anything from the county counsel's office. Other than, they were supposed to meet last time and apparently they didn't take any action. As far as I know, I reached out to Josh twice and he said that he would get back to me and he has not gotten back to me. However, since then, Kyle and I went out there last week and met with Jason Pence, who is their environmental manager who works out of Texas. And, they showed us what they want to do and we looked around. We're not quite sure if what they want to do will work. And then they're supposed to put it in writing and send it to us. I did get an email this morning from Jason telling him that the response should be coming shortly from the January 7th letter. However, Kyle and I very calmly looked at what they want to do, but we're not quite sure what they want to do is actually going to provide the relief they need to provide.
Did
So
you
one of the
suggest that
things-
to them?
Pardon me?
Did you suggest that to them, that you had
No,
doubt?
we were very clear, told by legal, just to listen.
Oh,
We can't make any suggestions. We can't tell them that we think this is a good idea or a bad idea.
all right.
So
Legal's
we just
doing everything.
basically listened. So what they're doing, one of the things they're doing that I think is probably going to help is when they turn the big equipment, instead of turning it on the ground, they're going to turn it on railroad ties or tires. So when they take these big pieces of metal, instead of clinking it back onto the concrete, it's going to land on tires and metal, or tires, or these wooden railroad ties, which I think will stop some of the clanging. I don't know if it'll reduce all of it, but I think it'll reduce a lot of it. And then the other thing they want to do is they have these old process tanks that are 12 foot high, 50 feet long. They have 2 of them out there right now sitting. And what they want to do is use those to block the noise. And they're sitting and they're not sitting, like together like this. They're sitting like this. There's about 20 feet between the 2 of them. So to me, it's not going to block any noise because the noise has a pathway right between the 2 tanks. But they have another process tank they're going to replace. So then they're going to have 3 of these. They said they're going to move them together so that they are tight. And then they're going to have a 12-foot, essentially a 12-foot by 150-foot wall at that property line between them and the neighborhoods. I will just have to see if that helps or not. I think they probably will need some type of noise proofing on these tanks. I don't think these tanks themselves will block the noise. I think some type of acoustic material may be needed on the tanks to do that. And with the topography, I'm not sure they're high enough. So we will see, I guess.
Well, in the past, companies have brought in a noise consultant. Have they done that?
They have, but I don't think they did it to verify whether or not they had the impulsive noise or not. And the gentleman did a report on that for them. But as far as getting somebody with expertise who designed this, they did not say that that was the case. My indication is that they're doing this themselves.
Yeah, I think they're the guy that they hired. I mean, they're basically were just trying to disprove
right.
what we found instead of
After
trying to
all these years.
instead of
Really?
trying to fix their situation. Instead of giving them recommendations on how to reduce the noise, they're
Yeah.
basically just trying to, you know,
Now, having said that, when I looked at the two complaints that came in this morning, one was for like 3 o'clock in the morning on Saturday morning, and then I don't remember, the other one was 5:40 yesterday morning. Now, the 5:40 yesterday morning, I can believe probably was AZ&Z turning metal. However, they're not working on the weekends right now.
Mm.
And at 3 o'clock in the morning, it says to me, what would make that noise? And they did point this out in our meeting, and I would have rolled my eyes at it probably 2 months ago. But now I'm thinking it might really be within the realm of reality, is that trash trucks coming through there and emptying dumpsters would make the same noise because you have metal clanging onto the concrete. And if you look at the wide variety of area, if you have a trash truck company coming in and emptying trash at 4 o'clock in the morning, and what I have since learned from trash companies is they start emptying commercial trash at 2 o'clock in the morning.
That's a violation, isn't it?
Yeah, yeah, isn't it?
No, it is not. There are
Seriously.
no regs on it.
Even if it's above the noise level?
It would be exempt from the noise, I believe, because it's a vehicle action.
No. But what about their manufacturing? Are there time limits on when they can be making that kind of noise from their manufacturing?
Not that I'm aware of, unless they have some type of CUP, which is some type of plan that zoning would have issued them. AZZ does not have a CUP or have any, St. Louis County as a whole does not have any operation requirements from like Public Works. And there's nothing in the zoning ordinance that would prevent them from working 24/7. However, speaking with Jason, supposedly they're not operating 24/7. They start operations, I believe, at 5:30. Kyle is what he said, and they are trying to
earlier
stage
than that.
everything the night
I think they start at
before
5.
at 5. And so they don't start moving stuff till about 5:30, 5:45. And that's what they told us. And that's still way too early. If they're going to make that noise, that's going to disturb them.
Right.
But I think the emptying of trash, because this Saturday, what was unique about this Saturday is we did have the storms. And so the trash companies did not operate on Thursday.
Right.
So that would put them in operation mode on Saturday. So to me, I was like, well, I wonder if that really is. I actually stopped and listened to the trash being emptied, and it can be really noisy.
Mm.
So is it just trash or is it a construction disposal? Do you know what I mean?
No, it's the dumpsters, it's the metal dumpsters that are behind every commercial building in the world,
Right, but it's trash. It's not,
No, it's
it's
trash.
not a
Yeah.
40-yard dumpster.
Every
Is that
single
right?
one of those businesses has a trash dumpster that has to be emptied at one point in time or another. And usually once a week. I don't know. Maybe I was just searching for something, but we have had this complaint. We had a complaint similar to this in the waste about September of this year. And it was the trash being emptied that was waking this woman up at 5 o'clock every Tuesday and Thursday, or because it was she lives behind a strip mall. There's several different dumpsters. So I don't remember. Before an example, Republic came on Tuesday morning and Waste Connections came on Wednesday morning or Thursday morning. So she would be, and they came like at 4 o'clock in the morning and they were waking her up because her property abuts behind the strip mall. We worked with the companies. They're no longer picking up till after 6:30 in the morning for that particular strip mall. So she's not being woken up and that concern was resolved. Having said that, the trash companies really need the flexibility to start working at 2 o'clock in the morning because of basically it's a safety issue. You want to get in and out before the businesses start business. And Republic alone does 6,000 commercial buildings a day in this region.
Wow.
So we don't really want to limit that, but it is something really that I'm kind of curious about how I can investigate more.
Right. Well, if it's a particularly, like you said, you resolved it for a one specific reason, and if there's an issue, if it's adding to the issues that these people are experiencing, maybe that could be adjusted as well.
Yeah, I'm going to talk to my contacts at the waste companies and ask them when they service this particular area. And I want to see if it correlates with any of the complaints. I just have not had the time to do that yet. I may put a staff member to do that. Unfortunately, I'm very busy right now, so I think I might have
Yeah.
do that for me.
Okay, any other questions or issues anybody would like to bring up?
Yes,
One
just-
more thing.
Oh.
I'll
I
be
was just
sure-
gonna say with the noise from AZZ, every time I've been out there recording the noise violations, it's just been AZZ. There's not been, there's been times when trucks have pulled up
Mhm.
in the commercial area between where I'm recording and AZZ, and I don't take noise from those time periods into account, and I keep a log, and I will note there's a truck parked in front of the meter at this time, and I do not use those time periods for a violation. And I've forwarded all my evidence to Josh. He has the violation sound reports. He has the notes that I've taken. I sent him recordings that I took of what the noise sounds like. I've sent him all of this information. I've sent him the summary of violations. I've sent him explanations as to how impulsive noise is determined and why their violations in the data shows it's impulsive. So he has everything. And
And Kyle, I am not saying that AZZ is not in violation
mhm.
at all. We have a very strong case. I'm not at all dismissing. I'm just giving what, like 2 o'clock on Saturday morning,
Yeah,
we
that's
call
not
AZZ,
AZZ.
they're gonna tell us they
Mhm.
weren't working.
Well,
And-
that's only one complaint out of how
Right.
many, over
Right.
how many years,
Right.
so
No, we've had
that's
quite
just.
a few complaints that have come in that have been at, the middle of the night, and AZZ says, well, we don't work at that time.
Well, and you have people who are already, attuned to noise, and you also have a situation where it legitimately may be happening. So if there is a secondary issue, I guess I would just say we don't want to ignore the
Correct.
secondary issue. So I agree
And
with
that's, yeah, Marcia, that's exactly what I am
Yeah.
just looking at.
And AZZ also told us when we were there that the reason for the screeching noises, which are a big culprit of the impulsive noise, is because their customers are loading their trucks, overloading their trucks without putting proper spacing between metal objects. And then therefore they have to push the forklift forks in between metal.
Forgot about that.
And they told us that,
Well, so can they tell those people not to do that? I mean, come on.
yeah, well, He-
Making the excuse doesn't make it okay.
yeah. And the funny part about that is he told us, well, he was saying, oh, well, I have to balance, between complaints and our customers, but there's no balance there. It's all, to me, they're cutting corners, and that's part of the reason why they're creating extra noise. But they admitted that to us whenever we were there. And I also mentioned that to Josh as well in writing.
And Josh is
The lawyer who's handling this,
in the
Are
counselor's office, okay.
but that's where we are on it. I don't know where Josh is on it, but he's got everything that I have. I just don't know what his next step is right now.
The county, I mean, we can't do anything above that. They've had it too long. I mean, it's ridiculous. And we can't go above them, is that right? Of course, I don't know where
We
you,
did go above them.
where'd you go? Did you go to Dr. Sam Page?
Well, remember you guys wrote
Well, we did.
letter.
but We did, was that ever, did he come back to us?
who?
Did you-
Josh?
No, did somebody?
Well, we
actually-
sent it to the county counselor's office.
Right, so we never
Right.
went above the county counselor's office. Who, is that
No.
Dr. Page?
But
No, we didn't.
Yes.
We sent it to the county counselor's office.
But they are working on it. They are actually working on it, which is, they sent the letter out January 7th. And so they did get a response from Jason, like a couple of days after he received the letter, that they didn't share with us. But they were going to take additional action. Remember, that's what I reported in the February meeting, that they were going to move forward with some additional action, whether or not it was a cease and desist or just another strongly worded letter, but they never decided how they were going to move forward, and they never got back to us. And because I told you guys that I would let you know as soon as I knew what they were going to do. And I never got to you guys because I never heard what they were going to do. So I will follow up again with Josh again today and email you guys any.
Well, and I would
I
say.
guess he would have let us know if they took any different action.
So I think, again, use this meeting as a way of saying the board met, they were asking what's happening, and they're concerned that it's not, that things are not happening.
Yes, I will.
I mean, use us.
And I'll let you guys know what response I get. Even if it's a no response, I will let you know.
Yeah. And you could say, they're asking me to find out from you and get back to them.
Looking for some action
Yeah, right.
now.
A
Yes,
little less
exactly.
talking.
The board's getting impatient.
That's what I will tell them.
Yeah,
Okay.
really.
We could have him, maybe he could come before the board and let us know what's going on and why it's not.
Yeah, true.
Yeah.
All right. Anything else?
Okay, I just wanted to give you a staffing update.
Okay.
We have replaced Caesar, our OSR,
Mhm.
with a young woman, Mary Rose. She starts March 7th. So you will meet her in the April 5th
Mhm.
meeting next time.
Right.
She will start doing the meetings for us, and we're real excited. This is really her first real job, and I think that's kind of exciting. She does have some office experience. So but it's her first, real job. She's young, but I'm excited about it. And then for Jeremy's replacement, I have interviews, I believe on March 18th. So hopefully, maybe when we meet in April, we will have a new Jeremy, a new supervisor of the air program. So that would be good too.
Yeah.
Oh, so actually Aisha is the new Air OSR and she's actually
Oh,
on
I'm
the
sorry,
call
Jill,
with
you're
us.
right.
That's okay.
I
We hired a couple new
apologize.
people all at the same time. So Aisha is actually on the call with us today. She's on with Tracy.
That's what I thought, but I thought maybe something changed.
No, we
No,
hired a
it's
couple
my
people.
brain, because originally I was gonna do it the other way, and then staff talked me into, we have 3 vacant OSR positions, which we filled. And
Oh,
then originally we were gonna have Aisha do waste, but then the decision was made for her to do air.
Hmm.
And so my mind is still like that. I apologize.
well, welcome Aisha and everybody who's on the call with us. Okay. Then if there's nothing else, just want to mention, I may not be available for the next meeting.
Okay.
And I may be traveling. So Denise, if you're available, could you plan on running the meeting?
Sure.
Assuming
happy
that we can get a quorum. So I will entertain a motion to adjourn. Nobody
Move
wants
to
to
adjourn.
Okay,
I move to adjourn. I know, no. We're ready.
we're ready. We're ready.
I move to adjourn.
All right, we're adjourned. Have a good month, everybody.
You also.
Thank
Bye.
you.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you.